my best friend. I'll get them cowboy boots, I'll be a Rudy Toot-a-Loot when I go back to that country again. Cowboy country, that's where I wanna go. Going to cowboy country, gonna see a rodeo. I'm gonna ride and roll, hardly use soap. Gonna take a bath once a week, ride and romp and stomp. Yeah, that's a country I see. I'll get a Western Stetson, Colt 45. A horse will be my best friend. I'll get them cowboy boots and be a Rudy Toot-a-Loot when I go back to that country again. Cowboy country, gonna meet me a cowgirl. Going to cowboy country, she'll be the best in the world. We'll do a cowboy dance, have a country romance. Gonna ride into the west, we'll ride under the stars, play our guitars. Yeah, country love is the best. I'll get that Western Stetson, Colt 45. A horse will be my best friend. I'll get them cowboy boots, be a Rudy Toot-a-Loot when I go back to that country again.
Contradiction is truth. Those are the facts of this world, and you will all surrender to them, you pigs in human clothing!
Just buy those face masks off the shelf. I bought 10 boxes of them for myself. Didn't help me much, and now I'm totally screwed. Oh no, I got the Wuhan flu. I got myself a case of Wuhan flu. I don't know what I am supposed to do. Didn't know I had it when I gave it to you. Now we all got the Wuhan flu. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope a tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. Life is so crazy this year. I'm surrounded by anger and fear. I'd like to go out, instead I just pout, 'cause I can't let anyone near. It's hard to know what is real. Now's the time I'd like to forget. I can't see friends, just emails and calls. I can't even shop to buy a new pet. Life is so crazy this year. I'm surrounded by anger and fear. I'd like to go out, instead I just pout, 'cause I can't let anyone near. One day I tried to go out. I was a rebel without a mask. But soon cops were around and I heard beeping sounds. I wanted to hightail it out of there fast. Life is so crazy this year. I'm surrounded by anger and fear. I'd like to go out, instead I just pout, 'cause I can't let anyone near. Mostly each day is the same. News shows filled with darkness and doom. Feels like I'm in a cage. These are such crazy days, with music and movies to fill up the gloom. Life is so crazy this year. I'm surrounded by anger and fear. I'd like to go out, instead I just pout, 'cause I can't let anyone near. Life is so crazy this year. I'm surrounded by anger and fear. I'd like to go out, instead I just pout, 'cause I...
You will obey.
Absolutely. Just shoot it all down. All right. Well, that was just a little music to pull me into the right frame of mind for putting on a show. All right. Welcome to the show. Today, well, this is the prelude of it. So those that listen in here, you'll know already before I hit the show. Amber's not with us today. She is homesick. No, she doesn't have the Rona. And thinking of the Rona here, you know, let's have a little reflection on this silly fucking thing we call the Rona and what they call masks. Have you... Oh, well. I'm not too worried about that. At any rate, these masks are absolutely and utterly freaking worthless. And if you believe that masks are doing any good whatsoever, you have not been paying attention. Because, for instance, what they consider a mask for me, well, if I'd have worn it before, I'd be robbing a bank in the 1890s, basically. You know, for those that know me, they know I have my basically it's cowboy drab. I've got my long coat slicker, my cowboy hat, my boots. Only thing I'm lacking is a 6-gun strapped to my hip. But I walk into a bank and I pull my bandana up in front of my face. That's my mask. And if you think a bandana is any good for a mask, you're stoned. It's like they don't help in the freaking least. None of the masks do. Nothing that anyone wears helps at all. Maybe if you were wearing an N95 mask and it was properly fitted to your face, not just a mask. Like, I have a beard, as many people may have noticed. And ain't no mask ever going to seal to my face. Never. Because my face is not clean enough. To get a mask to seal, you must not have facial hair, or you must have your facial hair shaved around the points where the mask is going to seal. So you can't have a mask if you have facial hair, because the facial hair won't allow a seal. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. And I can't believe the people that believe that the masks actually help. They do nothing. They do nothing for us anywhere, any way, shape, or form. It's just insane. What are some of the other insane things about this silly pandemic? I mean, this pandemic here is the most untruthful pandemic in the history of pandemics of the planet. Pandemics of the planet in all the history have caused massive death. Oh, they go, what about 200,000 or 500,000 people? That's freaking nothing. Not to mention the fact that the death rates overall are down for everything. They've pumped the death rates up here. I mean, you can catch the articles, the guy who crashed his motorcycle and he died from COVID. That's actually true. I thought that was a bullshit meme, but no, that's actually a true thing that happened. Guy crashed his motorcycle. He had COVID in his system, so they wrote him down as a COVID death instead of a motorcycle crash. I mean, come on, let's talk insanity, folks. This is just bloody nuts. What about the other thing? Right now, it seems we do not have the flu in the world right now. Isn't that bizarre? We have the lowest flu rates in existence at the moment, yet we have this high, massive, you can't even call them infections. Oh, cases. Well, define a case for me. I mean, how many people are carrying around the cold virus on a daily basis? I mean, that defines a case. They've got a case of the cold. Well, they're not sick. But they have the infection. Yeah, so do many other people. But that doesn't make them sick. And that's the problem. They're going cases. Oh, you've got cases. So you've got a case of COVID. What's that mean? Somewhere in your body, you're carrying the virus that indicates that you've been exposed. But that doesn't make you sick, or a typhoid Mary who's spreading it around the globe. These are the insanities that we're dealing with. This is just insane. When you get down to it, it's like I got challenged by someone who I fairly respect very decently to investigate the death rates in Canada and death rates in general. What I did was I investigated the death rates in Canada. I took the data directly from Stats Canada that shows death rates across Canada are down. Yes, there was a spike back in the beginning of this back in March. But yes, that spike, surprisingly enough, nobody talks about. It killed people 70 plus years old, and most of those people were going to die in the next 2 years anyway. They were old, they were infirm, they were suffering from degenerative diseases such as heart failure, advanced Alzheimer's, et cetera, et cetera. I imagine if it had happened 2 years ago when my father passed away from pneumonia, which finally killed him, but it was Alzheimer's that actually killed him, they'd have written him down as COVID. It's just insane. There's so much insanity right now that it just makes no bloody sense. But you know what? I've done enough of rambling on about all those bits and pieces and things. I do want to top one more thing before we jump into some music that carries us through to showtime. Is at the risk of jinxing myself, I want to talk to people. It's like the most interesting thing is I see so many people around me that get sick, such as Amber. She's caught in a cold or something that's not making her feel real well. Definitely not the Rona, but something. My sons have had a couple of colds since the school year started, pretty expected, but somehow I managed to avoid all these. Well, it's not somehow I managed to avoid getting these things. What I do is I take care of my health. I exercise fairly regularly. I eat a fairly decent diet, but I don't just rely on that and sleep. My sleep patterns are so screwed up, it makes no difference, but I get my sleep. That's what I need to sleep. But what I also do is I supplement my diet with two things I think are utmost important to help you keep your health in the best of shape. And that is vitamin C and vitamin D3 and also B12 complexes. So you might want to do that. And the vitamin C and D3, I tend to megadose them just a little bit. Vitamin C, I massively megadose. I'll tell you that one there. Vitamin C, the moment I even feel a tickle in my throat, I go from my usual 500 to 1,000 milligrams a day to about 3,000 to 10,000 milligrams a day. I just pile it on. I eat them like candy, man. They're throat lozenges for me. At any rate, those are some things from me. What I'm going to do now is we're rolling up to showtime. I'm going to go use some music to carry us through till showtime. Let's take it away.
Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In search for glory, going with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devils at crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devils at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Not saying they're right or wrong. I ain't no Texan dancer, well, move it right along. Went missing down Highway 49. Devils at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Junkie and the jigger, just seen who done the crime. Captain pulled the trigger, guess who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devils at the crossroads, is he yours or is he mine?
Well, definitely mine. Nailed it.
Search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. Went missing down Highway 49. Devils at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Devils at the crossroads, jokers doing fine. Just sitting doing time.
Alrighty. That pulls us through. My bad singing and all. Alrighty, off we go. It is time for a show. So let's wind this puppy up and get us off and going.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress Plugins A to Z, not Z.
Reflections of Self. It's episode 489 with plugins for making money, widgetizing, image control, and ClassicPress Options, all coming up on WordPress Plugins from A to Z.
WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress Plugins from A to Z.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the Brewery Overlook in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall. And unfortunately, Amber is not with me today. She is homesick. And we have not set her up for doing this mobily yet. She usually shows up at my home office and gets the show going for us. So there'll be no Q&A segment after the show today, and no good tete-a-tete with my lovely daughter. What thing you can do, folks, send out some good wishes to Amber. You can send out some get well karma. Send it to her at amber@wppro.ca. I'm sure she would love to hear from everyone. She doesn't have the Rona or anything horrible like that. She just has probably a cold or a minor edge of the flu bug she got from her kids or something similar. At any rate, that's all we've got on that one here. I do like to send out some great appreciation for the No Agenda Show for their inspiration of ideas and the occasional stolen sound clip.
Squirrel!
They have really provided me a lot of insights in this stuff. And of course, the No Agenda Show is the greatest podcast in the universe. And we like to claim the greatest WordPress podcast in the universe, since they don't even touch WordPress. In fact, most of the time, they're not even sure what I'm talking about whenever I donate to their show. Okay, and I do have a bit of a rant since it's my turn to fill in today. Reflecting on the important things in life. Yes, I am doing the show by myself this week. As I've said, Amber's not feeling well, and it's not the Rona, just the bug. People do get sick for other reasons, believe it or not, and you would not know that listening to the news these days. If you listen to the pre-show rant, you'll understand that part. After all, a man crashes his motorcycle but dies because of the Rona. This is episode 49 of 52. Seems I forgot the leap year. It had an extra week this year. 52 episodes for 2020. It is episode 489, and we are now only 3 weeks away from the end of the year. And the show has moved in new directions this year. It looks like we're going to survive into the new year. If you go listen at the shows at the beginning of the year, I was giving a dire warning that this show might not make it past the end of the year, and it might die a horrible, flaming death of the coronavirus. Well, at the time there, the Rona didn't exist, but that's what I could blame it on. At any rate, not going to happen. We are now 49 weeks into 2020, 38 weeks of the Rona. The world still hasn't found its collective brain, and insanity still abounds. Now more than ever, it's time to start claiming your life and sanity back along with your health. If you want your health, life, and sanity back, now is the time to turn away from the social media. In other words, dump your Facebook, dump your Twitter, all the other stuff. Dump M5M media, or mainstream media as it's called. Claim back your health, sanity, and life. Go out into the real world without a useless paper mask, or in some cases, a pointless bandana, such as me. Meet and talk to real humans. Relax, but do not be afraid. Find yourself an oasis like the one over at the Rogues Tavern, a place where you can check out from life and unplug, recharge your soul. Heal your soul in a few short weeks simply by minimizing or eliminating your M5M exposure. Stop using face crack. I personally haven't looked at my face crack in over 3.5 months now, and I've never felt better. I feel so good for actually breaking that habit. Make your own little part of the world a better place to be. Inspire others around you to do the same. Don't worry about the things you can't control. Nothing you can do about them anyway. Stop acting and doing things that are not in your best interest. Work in your best interest while at the same time respecting and helping others. The rewards do follow. Trust me on that one. I learned that one, sometime last year was when that lesson finally dawned on me, and I started applying it, and it turns out it actually works very well. If you work in your interest, respect others, and help them, your interests often coincide with theirs. So, at any rate, enough of all that random stuff. Let's move right into... Oh, before I jump into this, let's cover that a little later in this show. All right, well, let's dive right into this, and...
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
Off we go.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! Thank you. And now the WordPress news with John Overall.
Absolutely. Some great new WordPress news this week. Now, before we get too far into it, first thing we got to deal with here is, if you haven't heard, PHP 8 has dropped. And what do you mean PHP 8 has dropped? Well, PHP 8 is the next version of PHP, which is going to control everything on the internet. It has dropped, and it's a huge change. Lots of new features and improvements, and there's a lot of breaking changes. And by breaking changes, this means if you're running a WordPress site, there's a lot of changes that are going to break your WordPress site. So do not update the PHP 8, but you need to be prepared. It's going to be coming in the next 6 months to a year. You're going to have to be looking at updating or talking to your plugin developers or theme. WordPress core team has been working and developing WordPress 5.6, which was just recently released, is supposedly supporting PHP 8. I'm not sure how fully it is yet, but it doesn't mean it's safe to flip to PHP 8. Also, plugins and themes are going to be a problem, so you're going to want to be dealing with it. If you're a plugin developer, you should go have a look at this article here in the show notes from Jonathan Bosinger, and it talks about getting your plugins and themes ready for PHP 8. And it's something you will want to read and find out about. And in that vein, we mentioned WordPress 5.6. It dropped just this week. There's a nice article in here from Blogade. Mariana does a really great job of keeping everyone up to date about what's going on. If you don't follow her, you should at least subscribe to her newsletter. She puts out a lot of really great information. And she talks about the changes in the jQuery migrate. Now, if you had problems when 5.5, and I had it on a couple of websites, which means I got to step up my game on those websites. I'm going to have to replace some themes on a couple of websites. And this is going to actually generate a crap load of work for me in the coming months. I can see it down the pike. Is that there's a lot of plugins and themes that people are using that haven't been updated in a while. The developers have vanished. There's no longer anyone around. And the jQuery migrate is being eliminated, not in 5.6, but in 5.7 of WordPress. They're eliminating the jQuery migrate. The plugin will help for a little while, but it's going to be gone, and it's going to break a lot of websites. So I can see a lot of this coming down the pike. So you'll want to go check into this and see what's happening. Let's dive into a little bit of problems or security issues with WordPress and functions. And this is a fake WordPress function. This article from Security Boulevard, they're a really good source for finding out about security issues. They're talking about fake WordPress functions being concealed inside the functions folder or in other components of your WordPress website, and how those functions can look like real WordPress functions, but they conceal backdoors. Now, I've seen these functions in websites I've repaired, and not these exact ones, but similar types, similar names, and other things. This is something you'll want to be aware of. Check your site. Have it checked, making sure that you're not having problems on your website. Go read the article. It's a great piece of information. Here comes another one. If you are a user of WordPress A-Z WP SMTP and you are not on a quality web hosting provider that blocks indexes by default, you will want to go read this article, and you will want to make sure you update your A-Z WP SMTP plugin, because they have a flaw in there that it's a simple basic thing. They forgot to put an index file in one of their directories, and if someone goes through and finds that directory, there's no index file, and if your web hosting does not have indexes turned off, they can list all the files in there, and they can see the one file that will allow them to inject code into your website. So it's not truly a flaw, but it is a flaw, and it's more of a flaw of lesser quality web hosts than it is of SMTP. But you still want to keep up to date. Now this one here is kind of sad for me. This is Automatic has acquired MailPoet. Now MailPoet is a plugin I had yet to get around to using. I think I've got a premium license for it from the author. I interviewed the author, Kim Gerstott, back at interview 47 on my website. And it's a really great interview. And this was earlier this year. And so it was really great fun to talk to him. I learned a lot about MailPoet, how it's developed, how it's gotten better since the first time I ran into it a few years ago. But now I'm sad that Automatic has acquired it because they're going to take it in terrible directions, just like they've done with so many other things they've acquired. They've got to stuff them into, they'll stuff it into like, what's that horrible freaking, Jetpack. That's it, Jet Crap. That's what I call it, Jet Crap. Their Jet Crap plugin, full of crap. But they'll stuff it into there, or they'll do something else that'll just make it no longer usable. It means I'll have to go somewhere else. But MailPoet was such a great idea, and I'm really sad that he sold it off, but I can understand why. You know, he probably got a decent chunk of change for it. He gets some control for about a year or two, and then they take it over, and it's gone down the tube. At any rate, it was one of the most popular ones. You can go read all about that. And finally, for one of my supporters out there, this is something you'll want to go check out in particular. This is creating a bilingual website for free using WordPress. And it's an article showing how to create a bilingual WordPress website. In this case, it's going to be French and English because it's a Canadian person and he's going to need a French website. So you'll want to read this article over. You know who I'm talking to. Go check this one out. I haven't read the article in full, but it does have some good information that will help you in your quest for the bilingual website you had asked me about a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so that's all I have for news today. And let's talk a little bit about the donors of the show. Those of you that support the show, this show is a value for value model, meaning that if you're getting any value out of it, please, it's time, man. Give some value back. If you haven't given any value back, be it your time, your treasure, anything along that line there, of course, one of the biggest things we're always looking for on here.
We just need cash. I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water. Just send your cash.
Cash is always good. Cash would really help us out. We don't get enough cash, but we do get bits and pieces here and there. It does help offset it. But there's lots of things that can be done with time. I have posts that need to be fixed. I have a website that needs to be maintained that never gets touched, or I update it once every 4 months. Things like that. Anyone who has expertise that wants to help out and help this show grow, Charlie helped us by taking over the contests on it, and now we suddenly have contests on a regular basis. All these little things are things that take time away from me being able to either do the show or make an income. I have to do both. It's sort of a tough thing. But value for value means if you're getting any value out of it, what's it worth to you? $5, $10? Is it worth the, it's a half an hour to an hour's worth of content every week? What is that? That's like watching a movie, reading a book. I don't know. What's it worth to you? Send us that or find a way to help us out. We also need artwork. Artwork is one of the big things here for the show. I've been changing the artwork on a show-by-show basis for a very long time now. And for a while it was just mine, but for the longest time now I've depended on Angel from Angel Lemieux Digital. And he's been providing us with some really great artwork. This is another one here. It's a tree reflected in a pool. Thereby reflecting the title of this show, Reflections on Self. Really great piece of art. If you're watching the live stream, you get the preview of the artwork. If you're listening to the download, it's already there for you to look at. And I do enjoy having fresh artwork every single show. And if you would like to support that, just go to the WP Plugins A-Z.com/art generator to submit your artwork. So that's Angel Lamu at Koa Digital. Not Angel Digital. Blah, 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 blah. My brain goes sideways from time to time. So a big thank you all that out there. And a big thank you to those who have come in under $50. There's a few of you out there. I have a few of you out there that support us with a small monthly or weekly donation. Thank you very much for that. It really does help the show. And thank you to those who have hired me, taken on hosting because you're listening to the show. Thank you very much. You know who you are. If you would like recognition in the show for that, just let me know. I'll recognize you in the show. I don't like to pop people out unless they really want to be recognized. That's why the $50 limit, anything over $50 automatically gets you a call out unless you say, keep me anonymous. Okay, and, I've been pimping out my kid for several weeks now, but this week I'm not pimping her out at all. I figure, she's sick. Let's be kind to her. If you would like to send her some get well karma, greetings, anything, send it to Amber at wppro.ca. I'm sure she would be happy to hear your get well greetings for her right now while she's sick. Not the Rona, okay? Just sick. And sometimes even a cold can knock someone down for a few days. Okay, well, let's move this show along to the real section that everyone shows up for. Okay, it is time for the meat and potatoes of the show. Into the depths of plugin depravity we go. Okay, first off, ClassicPress. I have a couple things on ClassicPress here, and they're just general information. They're links in the show notes. They're links to Google Docs that are created to show you and showcase the listing of ClassicPress plugins that are fully ClassicPress compatible. Some people have gone to some really great extents to bring out to create these documents for people to find WordPress plugins in the WordPress repository that are ClassicPress compatible at this time. Keep that in mind. ClassicPress is going to change eventually. And there's quite a few things here. There's also a link for on the WordPress repository itself for ClassicPress compatible plugins. And these are all the plugins here. You can just go in there and look for that. And that's really all I have for ClassicPress this week. I'm still lacking in ClassicPress. I haven't had time to go in there and do anything. I've been so busy with all my regular clients, and they're all on WordPress right now. And converting them to ClassicPress, I wasn't ready for that. They weren't ready for spending the money for it. So that's the way it goes. Things may change in the future, but we shall see. Okay. I have a few plugins for you today. First off, the first one I've got for you is called Gray Owl Thumbnail Resize Lite. This is a very interesting plugin. Now, there's lots of plugins like this out there. I didn't actually try this plugin. I just sort of watched their review video and checked it out. And it does look like a lot of the other ones. And it's a great tool if you're not managing lots of images. If you're only managing a few images, or you're putting up a post every couple of days or something, and oftentimes you're dealing with an image that's just not the right size, this plugin will allow you to resize or crop an image to fit precisely what you need fitted into on your website. And it's a really great tool for you to help manage your images on your website. And this is the free version of it. So they do have a premium version which offers a bit more controls, which is, par for the course these days. The freemium plugin is giving way to not the freeware. I coined a term there, but I don't remember the coin of the term now. And trialware, trialware, that's not the word either. It's something similar. I had a better term than trialware, but trialware is what's coming, where they're going to give you a plugin that will function for X period of time, and then it will cease to function unless you buy a license for it. And reinstalling it won't work, because it will insert some code somewhere that you'll have to dig through your database for hours to find, although somebody will find a way to bypass it, because there is always a way to bypass this stuff. Okay, the next one and that plugin there, the Gray Owl Thumbnail Resize Lite, I give it a 4 dragon rating. Go check it out. It could be very useful for you. Next one I've got for you. This is one that I've needed from time to time across the web. I haven't needed it recently, but I did find it while on a client's website where they're actually using it. And it is a plugin called Widgets on Pages and Posts. And I've used similar plugins to this one here. They're really great tools. This one's a freebie and it gives you all the control you need. And what it does is it allows you to create additional sidebars, put in all the widgets you want. That sidebar gets a short code. You can then take that short code and go dump it on a page or a post. Very useful. It's come in handy for me many times over the years to be able to do that, because sometimes you need a very specific piece of information that is only available via a widget and you need it on a page, which is a real pain in the ass to get there without using this. Great tool. It works exactly as it's supposed to. This is a freebie one. And well, freebie ones that work exactly the way they're supposed to, well, they get a 5 dragon rating. Go check it out. Widgets on Pages and Posts. Okay, and the final plugin I have for you today, this one here almost made me laugh when I found it, but it is called Podcaster Kit, Monetization of Your Podcast. Great idea in theory. In practice, yeah, I don't think so. But I didn't actually install the plugin, but it's a really great idea. And in theory, if you happen to have a podcast that is popular enough, hits more of the general audience, brings in a large enough audience, or has some really cool stuff that people just can't live without and they'll pay you for, this could be a great tool for you. It allows you to lock your podcast behind a paywall on your website, or lock part of your podcast behind the paywall. I like the ideas behind this. You know, I may have to come up with a way to do this. Maybe if you want to get to the when I finally hit membership status, if you want to get to the rest of the podcast, you got to become a member. It doesn't cost you anything, but membership status, that could work on it. But as far as money-wise, there's got to be something that people want. And I've learned that in my 8 years, 9 years. How long am I doing this? Let's see, my youngest son is 11. I've been doing this freaking almost 11 years. Holy crap. So in my 11 years of doing podcasting here, I've seen it. The show has been way up. It's been way down. Now it's about mid-range. It comes and goes. It wanes. It falls. Depends on people's interest. But I've been rather focused, been narrowly focused on the WordPress plugins area. So this is a really good option. If you're running a podcast and you think you can gain the audience, this could be a really good tool to set up and start using. You could use it at first, like I just suggested, instead of trying to collect money, collecting email addresses, because the money's really in your email addresses. It's not in people donating. It's more in the email addresses if you can learn how to use the marketing and market them the right stuff. At any rate, seemed like an interesting tool, but yeah, I sort of give it a middle of the road 3 dragon rating. Go check it out. The Podcaster Kit, Monetization of Your Podcast. All right, that's all I got there. This show currently brought to you by...
Are you tired of the same old web hosting? Not having the resources you need to run your website properly? Having a lack of control? Then you need johnoverall.com web hosting, providing you with all the resources you need to smoothly run your WordPress website or ClassicPress website. With strict limits on the number of clients allowed per server, johnoverall.com provides high-quality, fast server performance. Visit johnoverall.com for web hosting that won't slow you down.
Absolutely. Nothing but the highest quality web hosting, and one that actually blocks indexes. So you might want to check out my hosting. I do have room. I'm cleaning up a server right now, making some space, and it's going to allow me to take an additional 50 clients, and that will be it. Once I hit those clients, nobody will be allowed into my hosting services. I will peak out, and that's where I'm staying. I don't want to be the next Bluehost or some other giant people. I'm more than happy to stay small and provide the highest quality service to all my clients. So go check it out, johnoverall.com. Not everyone can get in there. You do have to email me and talk to me before you can become a hosting client. All right. Let's take it along here. Questions? No, I don't have any questions here. What do I got? I've got no feedback, got no listener questions this week. I really would like some listener feedback. It'd be great. Some listener questions, anything along that line. We haven't had that in quite a while. I know people are downloading and listening to the show. You know, I see the downloads every week. They're not huge, they're not massive, they're not tens of thousands, but they are in the thousands. So someone's listening to the show, or at least they're downloading. I don't know, maybe they're never listening, they just like to download the show. But if you're downloading, you're actually listening to the show, you've got any feedback, send it my way. If you got any questions you'd like to have answered, send them my way. I'll do my best to get them all answered for you. And feedback, I always enjoy. Good, bad, indifferent, I don't really care. Hey, we do have contests, and our contests are powered by the Simple Giveaways plugin. They have kindly provided us with a premium version of their plugin for running all our contests. So thank you very much, guys. It is a fantastic plugin. I've been using it since it was brand new, literally. I think I found it when it was in the repository in its first couple of weeks. So great plugin. It has grown up very nicely over the last 3 years. Go check it out. I do want to thank Charlie for all his support and getting our contest all organized and up and running. And we did note that we had a winner last week for Cart Lift for WooCommerce. The winner was Jess S. You know, Jess, if you're listening to this show, I haven't heard back from you yet. It's time for you to reach out to me and get you your license. I know I've sent you an email. I will send you another one. I'll send you 2 more emails. If I don't hear back, well, we will recycle a license, much as we have an unclaimed prize from the contest where we gave away a license for WP Admin Pages Pro. We're going to be recycling that license in due course. There is a new interview out right now with Arindo Duque from WP Admin Pages Pro, WP Ultimo, which is, and that was reviewed the plugin was reviewed in episode 484. The review is out right now, interview number 53. And the plugin was reviewed in episode 484. And that is the contest we are currently running. We are giving away an unlimited lifetime license of WP Ultimo. Easily create your fully automated website as a service business. Now, this is a really amazing plugin. You need to go listen to the interview with him, as he talks about how this plugin works in the WordPress MU environment and how you can actually do something I've tried to do 3 or 4 times over the last 10 years and been almost had 0 success at it. But I think this plugin could make that a success. If I had time to go after that kind of project again, I probably would, and I would use this plugin to solve all the problems I had in those times. This is unlimited lifetime license, is valued at $499. Well worth the time to enter the contest. Go check it out. And don't forget the interview. All right, if you're a developer, you want to support the show, you want to donate premium licenses, reach out to me at wppluginsa2z.com/plugin contest. Okay, so the plugins I covered in this episode here was the Podcaster Kit monetization of your podcast, which I gave a 3 to, the widgets on pages and posts, which I gave a 5 to, and the Gray Owl thumbnail resize Lite, which I gave a 4 to. And since we don't have a Q&A segment this week, we're just going to move right into closing out the show. Yeah, it's a bit shorter this week, but it's a good thing for me. I actually have a massive appointment I got to keep at 1 o'clock. So good for me to get done early. I was really stressing that I wouldn't make it, but now I'm not so overly worried about that. At any rate, closing out this week, there still is no meetup planned. I'd really want to plan some. I just haven't had the wherewithal to get around to getting them planned yet. And if you want to be on an interview show, contact me at wppluginsa2z.com/interview. You want to follow my journey, find out more about me, go check out theroguestavern.com. And that's where I have all my adventures and the other stuff, and my new e-store, which will be opening there probably the first week of January. I have been working on it. I've been working on my products for it. All those little bits and pieces slowly coming together. It's going to be a really great thing. You can go check out my hunting videos, my searching for gold, hiking, camping, out on the gun range, all kinds of crazy stuff for me. That's what I do with my weekends. The Rona, if nothing else, the Rona has granted me my free time back again to do the things I wanted to do instead of all of the events I was involved in. I think that's the one beautiful thing that's come from this, is that I no longer had myself tied up in mass amounts of crazy stuff. So what it is. All right, so I got a crazy question from myself. What do you enjoy the most about doing the show? What do you mean, what do I enjoy most about doing the show? You know, I'll catch that after the credits. I've got questions here in the chat window. I'll catch these after the credits. I'm wrapping up the credits, so I'm going to let my girl take us on out of here. That's really all I've got. And let my girl take us on out of here, and then I'll come back after that and talk to everybody real briefly. Oh, it is tequila shooter time. Yeehaw. Let's have a shot on the house. Off we go.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa-z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A-Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa-z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa-z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA-Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
Alrighty then. So let me see this one quick question here. What do you enjoy the most about doing the show? Oh, it's a question from myself to myself. Well, for those of you that don't know, that's my marketing manager masquerading as me. So thanks, marketing manager. If you really want to get some anonymous questions, you really need to log in with an anonymous name. Go create a fake Google account. Sign in under that and then come in. It would work very well. All right, what do I enjoy most about doing the show? I don't know. I enjoy having a little fun, just being a little crazy. It's just a show that's just for fun. Initially, it was started to build up my business, and it did exactly what it was designed to do. It built my business. It brought me in clients. I have clients that have been with me as long as the show is old. Clients that discovered my show right about episode 3 to 10. And they hired me for a couple of small jobs, and then they realized that I actually do good work, and I fixed it, and then they had hosting problems, and so I talked them into coming to my host. They've been hosted with me ever since. It's like I have clients in my hosting service that have been with me for 18 years. They've never thought once about leaving. Even when I had troubles, and everyone has troubles. Every business has problems. Everybody has low times, but the difference between a professional and non-professional is how do they deal with it when the low times happen? Do they try to let their clients know we're having troubles? Please bear with us. We'll get through it. It's not the end of the world. I'm sorry you're having troubles right now. I'm sorry you just launched a new campaign and the server's acting up. Those things happen in life. It's a matter of how you deal with your clients. And over the years, I've lost a few clients. Yeah, usually they've left because they considered me too expensive. Well, those are the clients I didn't want anyway, because everyone who's looking for the cheapest deal is always going to be looking for the cheapest deal, and they'll be going from from business to business to business. They don't settle nowhere, and they don't look at how the quality of the service that comes with it. So anyway, what do I enjoy about the show? I enjoy just having fun. I enjoy being able to mouth off my opinion, which, is part of my show. I get to spout my opinion, and I love it when I get feedback on that kind of crap because it was fun. I used to get really good feedback in the early years. I used to get lots of feedback, but I guess the people got tired of spouting it at me, and I'd act like, and truthfully, I don't care because the other people's opinions make no difference in how my life functions. So at any rate, let's move along to Hemdian. Thanks a lot, Hemdian. The Widgets plugin sounds like it might be useful for me. Well, it is a useful plugin, and you will find it useful from time to time. It's not something that gets used all the time, but when you need it, you need it. And it's nice to see that there's a new one on the market. This one is better designed than the last one I used. I don't think I mentioned that. And yeah, it's 12:30 now, 12:36. I think I'm going to wrap this up. And I'm going to wrap it up with my new favorite song, which will be my closing one out of here. And after this, I'm going to close it down. So if you got anything left to say, spout it off. Off we go.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
And that's all. Take care now. Bye-bye.